If you saw my last video, you would note that I've been reading some pretty dark and disturbing stuff lately. So to lighten things up, I've decided to go on an epic adventure!
I'm going on an adventure!
Epic fantasy trilogies are where I'm headed to lighten the tone of my reading a bit. Why, I hear you ask? Well, good friends, let me tell you. I know this is pretty unique, a bit of a hipster pick, but my favorite book of all time is this bad boy. The Lord of the Rings. This book is my comfort book and what got me into reading. Quite literally this copy of this book, which my parents gave me back in 1998. But only a couple of years later, say from about the year 2000. In the year 2000. In the year 2000. I began a long phase, really until the start of last year, where I thought reading wasn't that cool and I abandoned it. Now of course I've come to realize I was wrong to do this. Reading's cool.
Hey mate, the way you're reading that book right now is so cool.
But this big gap in my reading means that there are so many great epic fantasy trilogies that I've never read. Will I love some of the epic fantasy trilogies I'm about to discuss as much as Lord of the Rings? What better way to find out than reading them all at the same time? What up, fiction fam? Welcome to Down to Read if you're new here, or thanks for coming back if you're a regular. I appreciate your patronage, and I appreciate you. Now let's get down to business. I obviously can't read all of these books physically at once. I'm not quite that clever. So here's the plan. I will read the first book of each of these series over the same time period. I'll probably even read another book in parallel because I like to mix up the genres a bit. But I'll always have the opportunity to escape to a magical land until I finish book one of each of these series. After I'm through all of the book ones, let's reconvene and then I can tell you about which world I'm desperate to get back to and which series maybe I'll leave on the shelf. Now in no particular order, these are the 5 epic fantasy trilogies I've lined up to commence. Series 1, The Trilogies Trilogy by James Islington. It will come as a surprise to absolutely no one that's been following this channel that there's some James Islington on this list. The Will of the Many was the best book I read last year.
Out here we got this telling us, his backstory he ain't telling us.
I know people had polarizing opinions about the follow-up in that series, The Strength of the Few, but I like that too. But we aren't here to talk about the Hierarchy series, we're here to talk about the Trilogies Trilogy. There was a great war, a powerful group known as the Augurs were overthrown, and all known Augurs executed. Book 1, The Shadow of What Was Lost, takes place 20 years later in a world recovering from the outcomes of this war. Magic users, or the gifted, are under strict laws from the victorious party to limit their magical abilities. Our main character Davian attends a school for the gifted, where he and his fellow students are treated like prisoners and hated by people outside the school. Things are looking pretty grim for Davian until a power he didn't know he possessed awakens within him, which could change everything. I see James Islington's name in a book and I auto-buy at this point.
James Izzy Stray got me in a tizzy.
But even if this wasn't by my man James Izzy, the setting of a world in disarray after a war, and the once great and powerful magic users now oppressed or killed, is really interesting. Plus, I don't care if it's a trope. Who doesn't love a magical school?
I'm on the magic school bus.
Series 2, The Farseer Trilogy by Robin Hobb. Almost without exception, if you like epic fantasy, you like Robin Hobb. Now this is the part where I have to admit that I've never read any Robin Hobb.
Shame! Shame!
I intend to correct that though with the Farseer Trilogy, or more succinctly, Assassin's Apprentice. If I like this trilogy, I understand there are quite a few other books that take place in the same setting known as the Realm of the Elderlings. The more specific setting for Assassin's Apprentice is the Six Duchies, which is on the brink of civil war. We follow the adventures of Fitz, the despised bastard son of the Crown Prince Chivalry Farseer. Fitz was raised in the castle stables and finds comfort in the company of the lower class and even animals who he has a magical link with through a special power known as the Wit. To make some use of Fitz, the Farseer family have him trained to become assassin and learn the traditional magic of their family. But to add to Fitz's woes, let's just say that his tutor doesn't have his best interests at heart. As a recap of what I just said, a royal bastard protagonist who's trained to become assassin and can magically link to animals? Oh yeah, this one sounds like it's gonna be fun. Series 3, Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Hip hop heads will say stuff like, you don't know about Coogee Rap? Then you don't know about rap. Similarly, avid fantasy readers will tell you, you don't know about Brando Sando? then you don't know about Fando. See.
That don't make no sense.
This is the part where I say I also have never read any Brandon Sanderson before. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be embarking into the Cosmere at the same time I commence my journey into the realm of the Elderlings. The Mistborn series seems like a pretty popular place to start at the Cosmere, and it's certainly the series that most people I know have said is an all-timer for them. So that's where we're going to begin. One thing I should point out before we get into what this series is about is there are currently 2 Mistborn series, with more planned, that all take place on the same world with the same setting, but at different time periods. The first series, known as Era 1 by Brando Sandoheads, is the trilogy I'm going to be reading and be talking about today. This series explores the idea of the prophesized hero not being the savior that the world needed, so that flowers no longer bloom and ash falls from the sky. In this dystopian world, there are magic users known as allomancers, who burn or swallow specific metals to gain particular allomantic powers. Book 1, The Final Empire, follows Kelsier, who, while trapped in the depths of a brutal prison, discovers that he has the powers of a Mistborn, someone who can use every allomantic power that exists in the world. Sounds a little bit greedy to me. One thing I've heard about this series which makes me a little bit apprehensive is that it's a bit more YA than Sanderson's other works set in the Cosmere. I can't say I'm a big YA reader, so if this one doesn't click for me, I'll definitely give some of Sanderson's other works set in the Cosmere, like the Stormlight Archives, a go. I think I'm gonna like this one though. Series 4, Rift War Saga by Raymond E. Feist. My brother loves these books, my brother-in-law loves these books, at least 2 of my closest friends really like these books. Will I like the books though? Because of how much my brother likes these books, I actually think I gave these ones a go back in the days and got about 50 pages in, then the new Wu-Tang album dropped, and then I dropped the book. Now that Wu-Tang album that dropped, the W, was dope.
2000 Zetos moving with an ill ego, for real, ill lines, ill people.
But I get the feeling these books are going to be dope too. Similar to the Cosmere and the Realm of the Elderlings, this trilogy fits into a larger overarching series known as the Rift War Cycle. In the Rift War Saga, Book 1, an orphan boy, Pug, is a struggling apprentice magician. The Kingdom of the Isles comes under threat by mysterious invaders known as the Cenari, who come from another world. Pug has a warrior friend, Tomas, and the 2 of them are pulled into the conflict with these alien invaders. They're pulled into the unknown. Interestingly, this book at one point was cut into 2 books, Magician Apprentice and Magician Master, by the publisher, because they thought it was too long. Will it feel like a long slog to me, or will I wish it was even longer? Only one way to find out. Series 5, The Kingkiller Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss. I probably don't need to be in a hurry to read these books, because Rothfuss sure doesn't seem in a hurry to write the last book in what I understand is planned to be a trilogy. But when I told some of my mates that I was going to be starting a booktube channel, the most common recommendation I got was Kingkiller Chronicles Book 1, The Name of the Wind. So this seems like the perfect time to get into it. Not dissimilar to the other books I've discussed in this video, we have a magically gifted protagonist. But I mean, come on, it is epic fantasy after all. What do you expect? Told from the perspective of this magically gifted young man, Gavotte, or at least I think that's how you pronounce it. I understand that this is almost like a magical coming-of-age story that covers his childhood years, his times attending a prestigious magical university, and his later years as a fugitive. I have a soft spot for coming-of-age stories, whether or not the protagonist is a wizard. So I think I'm really going to enjoy this series, or at least enjoy the first 2 books that are out there and exist in the world. I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy joining everyone else that's been waiting for Book 3 to come out.
Well, we're waiting.
So that's the 5 series I'm going to be reading at the same time. Or I'll at least be reading Book 1 of each of those series at the same time. Maybe this will become too much as I try to jump between worlds and magic systems, but I'm looking forward to the adventure. I also think this will be a good way to tell out of these series which one's my favorite, as I'm sure there'll be a story that I'm desperate to get back to more than the other ones. Which one do you think will be my favorite? Let us know in the comments. Also let us know in the comments if there's another epic fantasy series out there that you think we should be reading that I've missed from this list. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like, and subscribe if you want to see some more fun content like this one. That all really helps this channel grow, and we really appreciate it. But now, until next time, we out. Zoosh. What do they put in these things?